anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Live with us, your host.
Hello.
I'm the Prince of Paranormal, Eugene Tay, along with my rather sick co-host, the man before time, the immortal, the Hantu sympathizer, Jonathan Lim.
Hey, hello from my sick bed.
What happened, John?
Must be the Hantu lah. Maybe I sympathize with them, but they don't sympathize with me. So they struck me down with fever. No lah.
Kasian.
I'm just glad it's not COVID again.
Anyway, you guys watching us on Friday, thank you so much for joining in without fail. And on our part, we try to be here every week. You may have guessed, for those of you who are in the know, this is not live. Okay, so before you go to the group chat, like, why aren't you replying and reading my message? Because it's not live. We are pre-recording this a day before. But you know, John, I feel this because we put up the topics, and our fans have already followed. They emailed, they reached out, and one guy even said, "Thank you for doing the pre-recorded segment. I'm looking forward to Friday." You know, so even when we are thinking, no lah, let's take a break, I do feel that we have a responsibility to our fans.
No, we are there with you in spirit, even though we are not chatting with you live. Okay, but if anyone is chatting using our names, that's a scam. Okay, so do not fall for scams.
Yeah. I'll definitely be out on Friday because I have something on. And next week as well, I'll be launching the Armenian Street Walk. That's the very first night. So I can't make it for Friday. We may do a pre-recorded or we may not for next week.
But don't worry. Okay, we'll try to make sure there's something to keep you amused on Friday night. Okay.
Yeah. So today's theme, John, I did this for you, especially for you.
Really? Okay.
Because we now have a Twilight tour. We have the Walk with Hantu tour, and I'm proud to tell you guys that our Walk with Hantu tour is sold out every Saturday for the month of May. You know, and I wanted to give a tribute to Changi. This is the Haunted Heritage. No, what's it called? What do I call it?
Heritage and Hantu.
No.
What, the episode? Haunted Heritage.
Haunted Heritage, right?
Yes.
And especially focusing on Changi. And these are some of the stories that didn't make it into the tour, but they were so fresh. They were given to me by people who knew we were doing a tour, and I felt that we should give a highlight and pay homage to the place that we are running a tour for the whole month of May.
Yeah, and who knows, if you join us for the tour in the coming months, you might hear these stories again in there. Who knows? The tour's getting longer and longer.
You know, as more content comes in, we are curating, we are adding things in. Sooner or later, we'll have a day tour.
Overnight tour. Sigh. But okay lah. It's good to be blessed with so many stories. So thank you, all of you who are sending in the stories, who are responding. It's amazing that stories are coming in just within the week itself, right? Just for the Friday's topic, so that's fantastic. That means there's a sense of urgency and, enthusiasm. So thank you all for that.
So I'd like to thank our very important guest. And this is our patrons, our Supernatural Confessions patrons, Elaine Chua, Tengku Alsatian, Mko Grim, ZP Matt, Queen Lai, Lim Tek Chuan, Alvin, Sensei, VL, Casey Chan, Alexi O, Janice, Jacqueline, Yong Kwan Yu, Hanjay, Jerwin, Datu Easy, Starvin Jack, Hot Water Bottle, Sharon Ng, and Eric. These are our sentient entities. Also, mid-tier, we have Wandering Spirits, Joel Go, Deborah Confield, Jia King To. These are all legendary people who has been here for so long, like Linda Hayden, LEX, Jess Neo, Jerry Fitch, God, BB Teo, Teh Howee, 2 Cents, Alvin Lim, Kenny Polaris, Jayanti, TTB, Juju Bay, ZP, Devindas, Gary Fu, Isaac Lam, Martin, Falani, David, Don Xie, Ed A, Yao Xiu, Jay, Karina, Yani, Guyver, Shi Kai Chong, and Shahira Shahajan. Restless Souls, our Sichiato, Grace Chai, Candy Chia, Ron K, Jack Ong, Nicholas Poa, Burke, Sarin Tan, Rachel Y, Kelvin C, Lechmi, Julian Teo, David Kabilan, and Koshka. Thank you so much for being our patrons, for making the show possible.
And for those of you who are in the chat tonight, okay, please have a good time chatting without us, okay? Please be quiet, don't be rude to each other, okay? And if you are inspired to support us through the chat, you can still do so even though we're not there, right? But we will still read your comments subsequently, so you can still super chat us, right? So if you look down at the bottom where you type your comments, there's a dollar sign there. You can use that dollar sign, throw in any amount, and although we are not there in person, we'll feel a little tingle in our hearts. But that will make sure that your comment is read not only by us later on, but also by everyone else in the chat, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great way. And meanwhile, we've been sharing this advice more and more recently, but if you have a confession that occurs to you during the chat and you want to share it, don't waste time typing it bit by bit, sharing it in the chat, because no one's going to be able to follow it, right?
Yeah.
A good confession mustn't be wasted. So share it properly by typing it up and sending it to, what's the number?
94594931, or go to our
And the
website
minute-
supernaturalconfessions.com.
And the minister will thank you for your contribution. Okay. All confessions are welcome, especially
Yes.
stuff that relates to the topic, because that means we can have a part 2.
Okay, so today's
Okay.
topic, you know what, John,
Mm.
maybe I'm biased, but I feel really, of all the spots in Singapore, Changi is really the most keras.
Yes, you're biased. But why? But why? Tell us why.
You know, I think the entities in Changi is not your usual vanilla type. They're either very vengeful, very vindictive, very obvious in your face, and quite not the norm.
Changi's got talent, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's such a tradition of haunting in Changi that, you know, maybe the ghosts there are the best of the best. You know, maybe they circulate around and like only the best get to stay in Changi. Right? So like those old neighborhoods which are very fussy who they allow to be their residents. All the new Hantu like get out,
Yeah.
go somewhere else.
John, you're a lot of headroom on your camera, and your beard is cut off. You wanna move your camera down a little bit? Yeah.
Okay, I'm tilting. There you go.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay.
That's too much headroom.
Okay.
Wait. Oh no, wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, too much.
I cannot. Every time I touch my camera, it goes very weird.
Okay.
Okay. Tilt.
Okay.
Does that work?
Oh, much better.
Oh wait. Okay, no, it's loose now.
Okay.
Okay. Can. Okay.
Oh, you're drowning again.
Okay. I suggest you cut this bit out because it's going to be majorly.
Okay.
Yeah. Also cut this out because I think it showed the whole room just now.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
When I
okay.
zoomed up.
Okay.
Yeah, just cut this bit out. Lah. Wait, let me get my camera sorted
Sure.
out. Okay.
Oh, you got a corner unit. Your window is L-shaped.
Huh?
Your
Yeah.
window. Oh, nice.
I think my block everyone is a corner unit
Point block.
because it's all corners. It branches out. Yeah, so everyone's a corner. Okay, see better.
Okay, I can move you. Yes.
But later I'll tilt down because I'm reading the thing.
Sure.
But okay, for now this is okay. Okay, can we pick up from like where we were before?
Okay. So today's confession, we have 3 great confessions for you. And John, I think, do you have any other anecdotes from Changi on your experiences there?
Wow, I feel unwilling to leak them out now, leh. now
Okay,
that
don't.
we're still sort of shaping up the tour, right? You know, I think we will test them out on the tour first, and then we will share them here when there's time. Because at the end of the day, this is where everything will come to in the end, right? This is the ultimate repository, right? But, you know,
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. On the tour.
Okay.
In fact, we haven't even had a chance to record properly some of the stuff that's happened on the tour with various attendees and all that, right? You know, little bits and pieces have happened, and we've started collecting them and sharing them with subsequent tours, but we've never actually done a like update, you know, tour haunting so far.
Need to do admin.
Yeah, exactly right. So who knows now? SC can generate its own confessions from its own activities. That's quite nice.
So if you are wondering what we are talking about, well, we are talking about Walk with Hantu. Go check us out on supernaturalconfessions.com. Sign up is all there. Date, times, availability is all there as well. And if you do sign up in the month of May through Singapore Heritage Festival. There's a sweet discount because this event, Walk with Hantu, is subsidized and supported by our Heritage Board.
Yeah. Thank you, Heritage Board.
Okay, let's start with our
I
first
think it's really
confession.
cool. Can I just say, I
Good.
think it's really cool that the Heritage Board is embracing bits of culture, right? Like our ghost lore and our folk stories, as part of the overall idea of heritage. I think that's very important. In the past, there have been sort of tensions between what is considered real heritage and what is considered just storytelling, right? But I think the Heritage Board embraces storytelling as one of the most important ways that heritage is preserved and passed on.
I mean, quite
So,
frankly, the ghost stories, folklore, all the superstitions, they are passed down through oral tradition, and that is our heritage.
correct.
And I'm Pranakan, so imagine my son who doesn't know all the pantangs that my grandmother taught me. Is very sad. I'm trying to impart that to him, and he's like, "Oh no, ghosts don't exist." He's being quite a modern kid. But bit by bit, our heritage is being eroded away, and if no one actually consolidate, archive it, or talk about that, then everything that we know in the 90s and 60s, the kampong lifestyle, all the ghost stories, even if it's fear induced or there's some form of truth to it, it's all gone. So
True.
I think what we are doing at Supernatural Confessions, though it did not start off that way, it is now moving to the field where we are taking stories and folklore and heritage quite seriously.
Yeah, I mean, for those who are interested, it's what Singapore calls intangible heritage, right? And that's something that's become more and more important, especially in a country where tangible heritage is perhaps a little bit hard to hang on to. We can't have as many old buildings and old places as we'd like, but we can preserve the rituals and the stories and the customs, right? So I think it's good that our country is focusing on it, and it's nice that they're reaching out to groups like us, who are on the far-flung corners of culture, reaching out to us to say, hey, come share your ghost stories, link them to the heritage, and reach out to people. So I must say I was quite surprised, in fact, that the Walk with Hantu tour, which is the more scary of the two tours that we are offering, were faster to sell, right? We thought all these heritage people all scared one. That's why we thought they will only come for the boring one. It totally did not occur to me that they would come for this scary one much more eagerly, and maybe it proves that, ghost stories are very much part of everyone's heritage,
Now, it used to be a time when you tell people a ghost story or that you can see ghosts and people say, hey, you're crazy. But now, ladies and gentlemen, audience of Supernatural Confessions, if you start talking about ghost story and people say you're crazy, you can go, no, I'm just cultured.
I'm just in touch with my culture.
Yeah. Alrighty. We have 3 confessions for you today. One extra long one. All these are sent to me by our fans just recently, in recent weeks. Shall we start with the first one, John?
Yeah, no, this one you told me just the other day. It was quite spooky. I like this because we were talking about this site in our heritage tour, right? And it was really nice to hear a ghost story attached to it. Okay, this one, since you liked it so much, you read.
Yeah, this story, I read it. Right? I mean, when I was told this story, I could really feel the fear. Okay, so let me try to do this story justice and read it out in the way that I heard it. This one's called Changi Airbase Confession by MM. This incident took place around the early 2000s. Back then, Changi Airbase West was just known as Changi Airbase. And we did our patrol rounds as police officers in the area. We would find a spot deep inside the airbase to park our vehicle and take naps. We all knew Changi had and still have a reputation of being haunted. But since I personally hadn't experienced anything out of the ordinary, I wasn't really that spooked. I had also dealt with suicides and murder cases and had seen dead bodies in gruesome conditions. So what's a little Miss P sightings every now and then, right? That was until I had the close encounter with one that I became a lot more respectful of her. There's this one time we were parked on a hill behind an old colonial barrack. We just camped out at the back and rested. This was already in the wee hours in the morning. And that particular night, it was a weekday, I recall, all was peaceful around the area. At first, it sounded like twigs and branches were falling on the patrol car. But then the frequency at which it happened was so regular that my partner and I both felt it was unusual. We looked at each other and just exchanged glances. It was as if someone or a few people were just sitting on the branch above us and throwing twigs at our car deliberately. My partner said out loud, "Hey, please, don't disturb us. We're just resting only." The noise immediately stopped. It was quiet for a while. And then something heavy dropped on our petrol car with a loud thud. The whole car sank a couple of inches. On instinct, we both reached out for the car lock button and locked our doors. Okay. You made your point. We are going now, my partner said as he tried to start the engine. But the car wouldn't start. And our radios and walkie were all fried with crackling noises. My partner started reciting Quranic verses. I recited St. Michael's prayer. One Manchan and one Melayu sitting in the car side by side, praying under their breaths. I've never felt this frightened and helpless before. The Pontianak started banging on the roof of our car. From reciting under our breath, we started reciting out loud to drown the sound. I tried my radio again, but it was still just static. My partner reached for the window button and was about to lower our windows. I stopped him, of course. "Are you mad?" I yelled at him. "I have to try this," he said, and lowered his side of the window by a bit, but still large enough, in my opinion, for a hand to reach inside. He took out his handcuffs and stuck it out the window and started hitting them together. Whatever he was doing was working because we felt another push down on our car as the Pontianak leapt off from my side of the window. I could see a large, formless, white thing just sped upwards diagonally and then made a sharp turn to the left mid-flight and disappeared into the forested area some distance away. Our car could start again and radio signals normalized. Though this entire ordeal felt much longer, we checked our clocks and only a couple of minutes had passed. Later on, my partner told me that he learned this technique from his father. Pontianak is afraid of metallic objects because it can hurt her. So he knocked his cuffs together, it was to scare her away. Well, and I guess it works. Since that incident, we never camped out there ever again.
Wow, protecting her space, yeah. Quite an effective way. Okay. What do you think of this tactic? I mean, I'm for me the most captivating thing is they're easy. A pair of handcuffs, just shake them outside your window. Hey, who doesn't have a pair of handcuffs in their back pocket, right?
Mine's furry one, it doesn't make that kind of noise.
I see. Okay. I mean, okay, so law-wise, right, this makes a lot of sense, right? This makes a lot of sense because most Malay hantu are supposed to be afraid of substances that have strong spirit, strong semangat, right? And iron and metals are supposed to have strong semangat, right? That's why they're scared of nails and things like that, right? I didn't know that they could be scared of stainless steel, I guess, which is what cuffs are made of. I don't think they're made of iron.
Yeah.
Not anymore, right? Stainless steel. It would be quite sad if they had some lightweight, ergonomic aluminium cuffs or something. They'd be like, oh.
Or you don't even need to carry your handcuffs now. Just record the sound of metal hitting metal, then you play on your phone.
I think cannot cheat. Must have the threat of real metal must be there because it's the substance itself that they're afraid of.
Yeah.
Right. That you are there with like two sharp implements or two, you know. Yeah. So I think I just don't know whether they upgraded to stainless steel or not. But it's
so
maybe the sound is similar.
Yeah.
So she didn't check, like she didn't do a chemical test to see whether it's really iron or not.
It's the equivalent of a gunshot to the sky, lah. You just fire a gun out, right? Then people will just duck and run away. Yeah.
True enough. So good move.
Folklore-wise, with regards to the Pontianak law, I think most of us who grew up with kampong stories would know that iron is really the bane for Pontianak. My grandfather actually told me what he does is he carry his key, like not our normal house key.
Right.
And then he would just shake, like clink, clink, as he walks through the kampong at night or walks through the plantation. He would just do it. Even if he had not seen the Pontianak, he would just do it. So that is his deterrent.
That makes sense. Yeah. So always make sure I just remembered something.
What?
I just remembered something. Okay, I'm going to share this with you. So apparently, my grandma who has passed, was a staunch Catholic for most of her life, right? But later on in her life, when we were packing her things, we discovered that she always carried iron nails in her handbag. Either she likes to do home repairs, or she's ready to be a contractor anytime, or she never let go of her kampong upbringing. Right, and felt that no matter what, she needed some nails around her at any time. So I think that's a good thing for all SC members to incorporate in your clothing.
I remember one of the confessions before one of the nurse. This is some time back. This was before you came on FNL. This was I think last era. A nurse was saying she brought with her a nail clipper or a pen knife, something that is sharp.
Okay.
Yeah. When she was coming back one time from work, she stumbled upon a Pontianak. Her friend was possessed. I can't remember the story. Maybe our audience, you might remember this one. She took out the nail clipper with the knife and she pressed it on her friend's forehead. And her friend reeled back. So that's how she knew the spirit possessing her friend was a Pontianak.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Although I'm very dubious about nail clippers and the quality of iron they are made of. I think they're usually made of something really light and probably not very much metal in them at all. But I think you'll be safer with maybe scissors or. I'm not warning you. I'm not telling you to please move around with scissors. That's very dangerous. But yeah, I think the nails are a good idea.
Ideally 6-inch nails, right? Ideally 6-inch nails. The iron nail, the thick one.
Correct.
That's what really would deter and fight Pontianak.
Firstly, because it's iron. Secondly, because if you do come face to face, then I think showing her the iron nail shows that you know a bit about her, right? I'm going to pierce this into the back of your neck and control you. So don't come and play the punk, right? If you show her your nail clippers, she'll be like, what the hell?
They laugh at you. Or you show her the handcuff, she's, abang.
I also have. Yeah, so apart from scaring her off, in case she's a bit more garang than that, and she demands that you show your iron, make sure it's not embarrassing.
You whip it out, and it's just a 2-inch.
Ball bearings in your hand. Or worse, you show her your key, then die. And she's like, thank you, I'll see you tonight.
Can I laugh at my Pontianak?
Don't throw our SC face, okay? We don't want them whispering in the spirit world, you're this SC. What kind of advice they give their members?
Hey, that one SC member tau. He take out keychain. Ayo, malu se.
So please find iron. Maybe I'll merge to include more iron things.
Iron tablets to keep fit and also 6-inch iron nails to protect yourself.
From both the Pontianak and Magneto, okay? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, go on.
No, I was gonna say, as you were reading the story, right, there were so many moments of similarity with a very famous urban legend, right? Of the stranded car, right? And the husband go and fetch petrol, and the wife is alone, and then after that, bang, bang, bang on the top of the car, right? And I was thinking, are we going to that territory? Because it's the first time I've heard of the Miss P throwing twigs and branches at a car. Usually she'll just hop on top of it and start banging directly, right? So it was nice of her to give warning signs beforehand, before she got too violent, right? And I wonder what she would have done if they didn't leave. Was she just wanting them to get out, or was she warming up to a real attack?
Or she just teasing them, like playing with the food.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Gosh. Playing with the food still means it's food, right?
Yeah.
So was she just being mischievous, or was she just sort of scaring them before attacking? Or was she just simply saying, get out, please? And interesting that she chose not to show herself, because that would be, I think, one of the most obvious ways to scare someone off. Right, just appear right
By the
you know,
window.
rather than yes, exactly. But rather
Okay,
than
heart
make
attack.
hints.
Yeah. Or maybe it's not even a pontianak. We assume it's a pontianak because there's a
That's true.
white flying thing, and I mean, because of the handcuff that were, or maybe she wasn't even frightened off by the handcuff. You just like coincidentally you took out your handcuff, you think you're the man. You know, she was
No lah. I mean, the reason they assume it's Pontianak is because it's the reason we all assume it's Pontianak, because it's the only one we sort of think about straight away, right? You know, so even without seeing any long hair and white dress, they still think Pontianak.
Yeah.
There was no smell. There was no singing. There were none of the, there was no duck quacking. None of the standard Pontianak things, and yet the mind still runs to Pontianak because she is, she's the first and foremost in our minds,
Yeah.
right? She's the queen of the night. But it's quite possible that it was something else, right? It could have been a tree spirit. It could have been anything else, right? We've already mentioned in our Changi tour several other possible white long-haired spirits around Changi, so it could be any of those. The only clue, I guess, is in the tree, right? If she was up there, then Miss P does often like to be in trees, but I don't think she's the only one who finds trees a good place to spy from, right? So please share in the comments if you have other suspicions of who it might be.
The other thing that is new for me as well, it shouldn't be too new, but we always say spirits affect electromagnetic field, and in this sense, it from just the confession alone, it felt like she affected the machinery. The car cannot start, radio was crackling. That's quite new. That tells me it's immense power that she exudes out, that is able to block or interfere with electronic devices of this magnitude.
Or maybe it was an alien dressed as a Pontianak.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, if this story was told, as happening in the American Midwest,
Colorado.
you would straight away go,
Aliens.
abduction gonna happen, right? Yeah, and that white thing outside the window, it could be something zooming past, right? So context is very important.
Yeah, even it's flying diagonally and bank left. It's a UFO for sure. And so there's one line where he says it felt longer than that, but it's actually a few minutes. So I wanted to check. I double checked. I said, "Do you time travel? Was it like a?" Because in my mind, when I heard it's like, it seems like, your device cannot work. It's Langolius territory. Stephen King.
Yeah, correct. You lost time, right?
Yeah, he said no. It's just that it happened so fast, but he was so scared. It feels a lot longer. So it's not supernatural. I just wanted to clarify that line. Yeah.
It's quite nice though that it can stretch as far as a UFO theory. Interesting.
Yeah, if you Angmo, you be UFO lah. You Asian, Pontianak lah. But this kind of stories is nice because it gives us something to talk about. Like, even though it sounds so classic, like the police guys, they would know it's Pontianak without a doubt. But when we are retelling and we are exploring and dissecting, and we especially take culture into perspective,
Yes. But when he first said, right, don't disturb us, she went quiet. So what was happening there? What exactly did he shout? His first shout.
He said, "Hey, don't disturb lah. We just want to rest."
He said please.
Quite polite.
Yeah, and then the noise immediately stopped, right? And then quiet for a while, right? So maybe she was saying, "Okay, fine. I give you time to finish your thing and get up."
And then you all still wait there.
And then and then you take advantage of me, thank you. Then she one pong pong fruit.
Hey, you know what? Since we're talking about UFO, right? All the more, if this was told to American crowd, right, or the Western crowd, it's confirmed UFO. You know where this thing was taking place in? Changi airbase. The government is doing experiment. Is trying to hide the fact from you that they have alien software and hardware.
Maybe it still applies because they are using the Pontianak to scare people off so that we don't find the secret airbase. The Pontianak is serving the UFOs. And that's how they observe human behavior, by sitting in trees.
This is
Watching.
On the Fringe with Eugene and Jon on a special Friday Night Live episode.
And don't forget, remember how UFOs always like to get people from the window, right? Like the child's bedroom, then the child will fly out the window, right? How come Miss P is always outside the window? Tapping. She's waiting to use her ray to lift you and bring you on board the mothership.
So Miss P is an alien. We are going with that.
Oh no, UFH. Okay, unidentified flying hantu. Okay. Please share your comments about this story and whether or not you think there's a possibility that we are bleeding into UFO territory here. Quite interesting.
Okay, our next confession. This one is harder to pin it on the aliens and the UFOs, and it's also quite long and will be read by both Jon and I. This one is sent to me by. Should I even mention? I think I can mention it. It goes by the name Z, and cannot tell you anything more about her identity because she'll be easily recognizable. Okay.
It was quite interesting when we received this because we were rehearsing for our heritage tour,
Yeah.
right? And on the heritage tour, we do cover most of the buildings along the path, right? But there was one particular building which we were both curious about, and we decided to leave it off because no one had anything interesting to say about it, right? So maybe it had not much history. And then suddenly this story came out. We're like, oh, there's a lot of history.
Yeah.
We haven't put it into our tour yet, but we'll find a way.
I remember, Jon, we were walking by and you were asking me, is there any stories from this building? I said, so far don't have. Next day, boom, I received a text message.
Wow, we sent our wish out there into the void.
Manifest. I think that place will be good for SC headquarters. Really.
Okay, when we finish the story, see whether you guys can figure out where it is. Okay, are there clues?
They tell you the name of the
is right
chalet.
there.
Yeah.
The name is right there, but not everyone will know what that is. Right, and there's another building by that same name just a bit further up the road.
Is it?
So don't be confused. Remember, we've seen it before. Right? So don't be confused. And then we'll find a way to share with you the real location. Come for the tour lah. That's
Yeah. Okay, ready, Jon?
Shall I start this one?
Sure.
Yes.
Over to you.
Changi Chalet. Confession by Z. Sometime around the year 04 or 05, my friends suggested we should rent a chalet to celebrate my birthday. I was in the civil service then, so booking the Changi chalets was one of the perks. But the downside is that you have to book early, as most of these chalets get snapped up really quickly. So I was quite surprised when I found a Chalet K still available for rent. I quickly confirmed the booking before someone else potong jalan, booked my spot. I should be happy to be able to get the chalet at such short notice, but something was nagging at the back of my mind. I clicked on the chalet bookings again just to have a look around at nothing in particular, when I noticed that there's a recurring pattern to the bookings. Chalet bookings require a minimum of 3 days, but Chalet bookings require a minimum of 3 days. But Chalet K's tenants almost never stayed for all 3 days. They would pay for 3 days, but leave after a night. At this point, I was having second thoughts about my booking. Maybe that was my premonition trying to warn me, but I decided to ignore it. My birthday was just around the corner, and my friends were expecting a party. When we arrived at the chalet, our hearts sank, and I understood why no one wanted to book the chalet. Chalet K was situated at the foot of the hill where old Changi Hospital was. We were literally neighbors, separated approximately 20 meters by a flight of stairs. The abandoned building loomed ominously over us. It was midday, and yet we could all feel the eeriness of the old hospital. As we approached the chalet, I already felt that the feeling wasn't quite right. There's a general sense of discomfort, and I wasn't the only one who felt it. But it was too late to cancel the party now, so we just did our best to shrug it off and continue. I recited some prayers as I opened the main door when my friend grabbed my arm and pushed me out of the way. "I just saw a white smoke go out the door and past you," she said. "Huh? Where did it go?" She pointed to a footpath that led to the thick undergrowth along the foot of the hill. I didn't see anything, so I brushed it off as her overactive imagination, triggered by our surroundings. Nothing else eventful happened that afternoon as we busied ourselves preparing for the barbecue and for the other guests to arrive. Around 5 p.m., the elderly Malay caretaker arrived to check if all was okay. We joked about the place being haunted and asked him if he has any stories to share. The old pakcik wasn't amused. He advised us to be careful when speaking about such things. Then he shared some backstory of the place. In the colonial past, a young Malay woman, Mariam, from the neighboring kampong, was murdered here. It was a crime of passion as she was seeing a British officer at the time. Many people who stayed in this chalet have been disturbed before. My wife won't even come here in the evening to clean the place. She will wait until morning, then she come. This chalet is the most keras one in Changi. So you all better jaga, take care of yourself. The pakcik left and we continued barbecuing. I tried searching online for the story of the murder of Mariam and the British officer, but couldn't find any news coverage or reports on it. I took it as the pakcik was just pulling a fast one on us, adding to the vibe of the place. Typical of any chalet gatherings, and especially in such a location, people will start telling ghost stories. The mood was lively as we joked and teased each other. One of my friends, let's call him X, got pretty loud as the night wore on. Sometime before midnight, we heard laughter and noises coming from Old Changi Hospital. Oh, we were all shook. The conversations at the party silenced immediately. Then we saw light beams moving about the place, and we knew that it was probably thrill seekers exploring Old Changi Hospital. Then X got up and shouted at them, "Hoi, Tiama! Mana ada hantu? Macam budak bodoh aja." Blah, blah, blah. Wait, okay, I need to see this. Okay. No. Budak bodoh aja korang buang masa tempat situ. Wow. Okay, that's a long sentence. Okay, try again. Then X got up and shouted at them, "Oi, Tiama! Mana had..." Blah, 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 blah. This will take a while. Then X got up and shouted at them, "Oi, Tiama! Mana ada hantu? Macam budak bodoh aja korang buang masa tempat situ." Meaning, shut up lah, where got ghosts? Like stupid only, you all waste time there. The thrill seekers laughed and continued on their own journey. X, however, felt slightly unwell soon after that outburst. He excused himself to the toilet where he stood. He excused himself to the toilet where he started vomiting non-stop. From other parts of the chalet, we could all hear him shouting and banging around in the toilet, yelling at something to get out. Some of us rushed to the toilet to check on him, and fortunately the door wasn't locked. We found X growling and hitting his head against the open toilet bowl lid where the flush was, cracking the porcelain cistern into half. Water was flowing out of it. X kept shouting, "Get out! Get out!" I could see he was struggling with an entity that had possessed him. On and off, he would laugh and shrill like a pontianak. This guy has a deep, bassy voice, so there was no way he could be faking it. On and off, he kept begging us to azan in his ear and get help for him. Some of us stood there and watched helplessly. Some of us ran away. One of my friends, let's call him R, commented that maybe he should call his father down to help. R's father was well versed in the art of Malay spiritual healing. R's father was well versed in the art of Malay spiritual healing, Ruqyah. Rushed down to the chalet. Oh, wait. Oh, I see. Is that the name or is that no? Okay. R's father, who was well versed in the art of Malay spiritual healing, Ruqyah, rushed down to the chalet after getting an urgent call from R. R's father took one look at X and started questioning the entity inside him with an authoritative voice. "Siapa kau? Apa nama kau?" Saying, "Who's your name?" Who's your name? Once again. Siapa kau? Apa nama kau? Who are you? What is your name? It was during this point that I remembered what the Pakcik caretaker had shared with me earlier, the name of the murdered girl. So I told R's father the name, thinking that it might be useful. I've seen enough movies and heard enough stories to know that knowing the entity's name is very important. As soon as X heard the name, he gave a very, very creepy smile and a look that really made my hair stand. Siapa Mariam? Nama aku bukan Mariam, he said. Who is Mariam? I am not Mariam. We didn't get much out of the interrogation, but we did find out that this entity was pissed off when my friend X shouted and joked about Hantu when we were at the barbecue pit. My friend's father told us to take X out from the chalet. It took 6 guys to carry him out, even though he was just a petite guy. We held him at the porch outside the chalet while R's father recited Quranic verses over him. At times, X seemed to regain control and kept pleading with us to continue with the prayers. Then at times, he went back into feral mode again and kept clawing at his head as if trying to pull the entity out physically. Then, suddenly, all went quiet. X went limp.
R's father said that the entity had left and pointed to the same undergrowth that my friend had seen the white figure disappear into when we first opened the door. He then instructed us to bring the semi-lucid X to one of the unoccupied bedrooms where he continued reciting Quranic verses, but this time into a glass of water, and then used the water to wet a cloth and wipe it all over X's body. Those of us who were present in the room saw 3 long scratch marks down X's back. Our father told us all to leave the room for our own safety, but called out to me to stay just as I turned to leave. You have onions and salt? Our father asked. Yes, I think I do. Downstairs in the kitchen. Good. Bring me a large packet of salt and as many chopped onions as you can get. Hurry back. I did as was asked of me and followed R's father around the chalet and into each room as he recited prayers and threw salt and onions at each corner. I can touch and feel the salt and onion in my hands as I passed it to him. But when he tossed it towards the corner, nothing left his hands. His hands were empty. There wasn't any salt or onions on the floor either. It was as if they just disappeared into thin air. I was the one who physically held it and handed it to him each time. And I had been by his side the entire time. How can this even happen? I simply couldn't rationalize this. After the cleansing, X regained conscious. He came back downstairs to sit on. After cleansing, X regained consciousness. He came back downstairs to sit on the sofa. He was exhausted and said that his body felt like he had ran a never-ending marathon. He only recalled the moments in the toilet where he was resisting the entity that was trying to enter his body. But when we checked his forehead, we found no cuts, no swelling, no marks. The scratch marks on his back, however, were red and painful. It was as if metal spikes were seared into him. We touched the spot and could feel the heat. Our father said it was not over yet. He called on me and another friend to ensure that all the doors in the room were to be closed. Our father said it was not over yet. He called on me and another friend to ensure that all the doors of the rooms in the chalet were to be closed, but he didn't elaborate further. My friend took the ground floor, I took the second level. When I got to the room that X was in, I felt that I had stepped into an aircon room that was turned on at full blast. At first I was pissed because I thought somebody had left the aircon on and the door was wide open. There's an additional fee I have to pay if we overuse the aircon beyond a stipulated limit. So I wanted to turn off the aircon, but I realized it wasn't even on. The windows were all shut as well. I stepped back out of the room and closed the door behind me, where the temperature was distinctively warmer. As my friend and I were closing the doors, the rest of the party huddled in the living room and recited Quranic verses. R's father then asked which of us were unclean in an Islamic sense of the word, and that those of us who were clean, we had to take our ablution and join him in prayers. The unclean ones were to sit beside the clean ones and not leave the room no matter what happens. The prayers continued with greater intensity. Suddenly, R's father stopped his recitation and asked, pintu mana ke atas? Wait, pintu mana ke atas tadi korang tak tutup? Okay. Suddenly, R's father stopped his recitation and asked, pintu mana ke atas tadi korang tak tutup? Which door didn't you close just now? After he said that, we heard a door slam upstairs. He told us, concentrate on your recitation. The entity that had been expelled from X was furious and trying to get back into the chalet. The prayers continued for another 3 hours. The prayers continued for another 3 hours as we tried to ignore the banging and scratching noises coming from outside the chalet. Then suddenly, the commotion stopped. R's father said that all is well now, but told his son to stay on and look after us. Before he left, R's father gave us some instructions. We had to stay together upstairs that night, not to go down until dawn or be alone at any time, and not to do any more dirty stuff in the chalet, and not to stay in the room where he did the ruqyah on X. He then advised us not to go to the area of the main electrical board, which was situated outside and towards the back of the chalet where the old service shed was. According to R's father, this was where the entity would roam. Some of my friends took the window of opportunity to leave as well. Since the chalet was under my name, I had to stay on to pack up and check out. I didn't care if the booking was paid up for another 2 more days. None of us had any intention of spending another terrifying night here. That night, 8 of us stayed in one room. X was staring out the window and into the darkness of the undergrowth. We asked him what he was looking at, but he didn't want to answer at first. After some persuasion, he said that he could feel her outside by a big tree under the barbecue pit, staring into our room, angry that he couldn't come in. I got up and closed the curtain. There, problem solved, I said. Another friend tried to lighten the mood and kept our minds occupied by taking videos and selfie, trying to make the best of the time left of the party. But the mood changed when we reviewed the pictures and saw a blue, scowling demonic face staring at us from the ceiling, even though there was nothing there to be seen with the naked eye. To rule out lighting and camera glitches, one of my other friends took a photo of the same spot on a separate phone and captured the same thing, but with 2 more faces beside the first. We deleted the pics immediately because we heard that it's taboo to keep pictures like this, as it would give the demons a connection to follow us. We don't know how true that is, but we're definitely not taking chances. We made the unanimous decision to change to the only other room we could use. It was much smaller, so we had to squeeze ourselves in there. Someone suggested taking a pic of the room to see if there was anything, but thankfully, nothing came out. We felt safer, but sleep was hard to come. Sometime during the night, we could hear the drawers and cupboards in the kitchen being opened and closed, forks and spoons rattle in the drawers. R was so pissed about losing sleep, he decided to go downstairs and do something about it. Of course, we didn't want him to go alone, so 3 of our other friends followed him. All that sound stopped as soon as they came down. There was nobody else there. The doors were all still locked. They came back up to the room and stayed up, counting down the hours, and packed up as soon as it was daylight. We planned to have breakfast at Changi village and stay there until the chalet office opened to return the keys. Before we left, I had to go to the main electric board at the back of the chalet to switch off the main power supply. As I was shutting down, I heard a woman softly humming a song that sounds like one of those old songs from the 40s or the 50s period. At first I thought it was my imagination, or maybe the sound came from somewhere else. So I waited and listened more intently. The humming got louder, and I was sure it was coming from the service hut. I took a quick look around, thinking it might be the makcik caretaker who's cleaning up the place in the day, but I didn't see a living soul there. And the shed was padlocked from the outside. I quickly switched off all the mains and left. When we returned the keys later that morning, the staff didn't even ask why we ended our booking early. She reminded me that my payment won't be returned for the remaining days, but I'll still get my deposit back pending checks on the chalet amenities. The whole incident traumatized me. After this, I never booked chalet or barbecue pit again. Even if I was invited, I'll go early and leave before sunset. If the invite was for late evening, sorry babe, I won't be coming. The chalet was eventually taken out of the system and was no longer available for rental. There's a barrier at the entrance of the chalet with a no entry sign. I wonder if it's because the haunting there happens so often to other people too, that they are forced to shut down their chalet for good. This experience have definitely opened my mind to the supernatural and got me more curious about it. Hold on, okay, swap back.
Wow. It's almost a movie. So many scenes. Wow. Okay, where to begin?
Where to begin? Why you all delete the photo? Why?
Scared lah. Okay lah. I mean, okay, it was kind of pointless to be scared because after all that haunting, I think she'll just follow you if she wants to. It's not as if deleting the photo was suddenly like, they've disappeared. Where are they? I can't follow them now. I think she's got her hooks into all of you by now, you know. But okay lah, protocol. Is that the reason why there's never any evidence of these things? Because people are afraid to keep their photos?
It's not the first time, John. I've heard so many times when I talk to confessor. I was like, they will tell me, I took a photo, I saw something there. And I will get excited. I'll go like, where? I deleted it. I was like, why? Yeah. So
maybe if you load it onto iCloud, then it will haunt iCloud and not you. Right? And then you can just pull it down whenever you need. Right? So everyone please go and
I get this.
Google Drive, let it haunt the internet.
You know the John Travolta meme in Pulp Fiction where he goes there, he goes like, I imagine the Pontianak going to the cloud and where's everyone?
So try. Okay, next time you take a photo of something spooky, okay, don't keep it on your phone, just load it up on iCloud, okay?
Or send to me directly.
Oh yeah, pass it to his phone. Yeah, why not?
I'll get all the Pontianak inside my phone. I'll go and battle it out.
Okay. I want to start with a wonderful coincidence, which is that they happen to have both salt and onions.
They got barbecue.
Nobody brings salt to a barbecue. Everything's marinated. What do you need salt for?
I don't know.
I understand onions if they made satay and they are ketupat and cucumbers and they are, and so they're a bit picky. They want to have the complete presentation of the satay. But why salt?
I know, because they got tequila. That's why unclean.
Okay. So it was a party with tequila and satay. Okay, Z, let us know if we're correct. Okay, I'm trying to reverse engineer the menu.
Your party. Z didn't say so, but there's a part where she said some people were unclean. So in an Islamic sense,
those were the ones.
Yeah.
Hitting the tequila. Okay.
So he knows confirm got salt on.
Okay, but I mean, okay. I'm quite intrigued by Z's very strong curiosity, right? Especially for example, hearing the singing at the electrical board the next morning, right? After a night of harrowing events like this, you hear this singing and you still want to go and investigate. You still want to go and find out if in case it's the machi, and you don't call out, for example, and ask, machi, is that you? You just go and explore. Wow, Z is brave. Z is braver than I would be.
She's a badass chick, man.
Z is the reason why horror movies can last beyond
5
1
minutes.
hour, beyond 5 minutes even. Yeah, everyone else would just be gone.
Most people will be gone by the time you go and check the chalet key available. How come anyone leaving after day one? Okay, nope.
Yeah.
The end.
It'll be less than 1 page, this confession.
Yeah.
Okay, for most people, right? I'm even amazed that after R's father left, they remained. did A's father give a reason saying that X cannot be removed or because his soul is bound here, so all of you must stay with him? Because some of their friends left,
Yeah.
right? So why didn't they all cabut?
They didn't say it, but I can imagine, let's say lah, if it's our chalet, right, John, let's say lah, you are the person who booked and then shit happens in the chalet. I'm not going to go off. I will stay there with you the morning.
I won't even stay there. I'll go and stay at Changi at Changi village and eat nasi lemak until morning and then just come back and check out.
That's also true. That's also
I will
true.
pack up with everybody else, put everything outside.
Like GTFO. Like, Pachit, you wait first. We all go together with you.
Put in the back of your truck and let's go. You know why? Yeah, I mean, I didn't see what the reason was for staying. Right, the A's father gave advice about what they should do if they stayed. But why even assume that they were going to stay at all? Right? Wouldn't it be wiser to say let's all get out of here while the father is there to escort them out safely?
Okay, maybe.
I'm
thinking
especially
maybe.
the boy who got possessed.
Yeah, he should have
Right.
gone home.
Yeah, and everyone should go with him. So okay, yes, maybe you think.
Maybe because if they are outside Changi village, they are in the open. They're not protected in the house in the four walls that already have the shield. So they might feel naked outside. Inside the four walls safer. Maybe.
But put yourself in their shoes. Would you feel safer far away than near?
I've not thought about it the way you describe it, but I did not think of leaving the chalet if I was them. If I was the confessor, I would stay.
Because I'm trying to imagine the physical experience of all these things happening right outside, upstairs, all this banging. Nothing would make me want to stay because I would not feel safe. I would not feel safe at all. You already one door all the doors supposed to be closed, and one door is open. I'm like, those things have tricks. They clearly have tricks. This is their property. Clearly, they know this place inside out. And they've proven that they can get inside one of us.
Yeah.
What if she's gonna spend the night trying to possess all of us? Why take the risk?
Well, Jonathan, you are a wise man. If there was a horror situation, I'd like to be stuck with you. It's like, John, I'm going upstairs.
I won't be there. You'll be stuck with the wisp of shadow where I was a moment ago. Yeah. I'll be like the road runner. Beep beep. And that's me gone. I mean, yeah. I can understand if, let's say, this was the situation with the two cops in the car. Right, because then you really are trapped, right? And opening the door is not an option, right? But here, I didn't sense that it was impossible to leave the house because A's father obviously came in and left, and other people also left. I'm like, bye, see you Monday. Tell me about the ghost, okay? Bye. How do you even let your friends leave?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So I wonder whether there's something missing about maybe a ritual or something, But then again, even the unclean ones were allowed to stay, right? So I don't know. Maybe they were just determined to party, right? It's like this chalet hard to come by.
Now that you tell me about it, right? And also they woke up in the morning, they went to eat breakfast first, and come back to return the key. Technically, you can all go home, shower, sleep fresh, next day come back.
Or just send the poor sucker to come and return the key on So I don't know if I think they were secretly craving the haunting and wanted to fully experience at least one night lah. It's like other people can stay one night, so can we. Okay, we're not gonna
Hey, I pay money already, I'm staying. Singaporean, every cent count.
Value for money.
Not going to let you win.
Oh, I noticed something else also.
Yeah.
So there was a bit where there was noises in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
And there was the sound of a cutlery being rattled. And I'm thinking, oh, so is that metal cutlery? or is that something else?
The Pontianak trying to scare you.
Because it must be all like what plastic cutlery lah.
No, but then again, when they went out and checked, nothing moved, right? So it's just a sound only, but there was no real physical movement.
But that's the sound of metal clanking. Isn't that the sound that would have scared her? That's the sound that in the police story scared her. So,
Sound like more Apex. Or maybe,
yeah.
maybe after the police story, then she will learn her lesson. Actually, these people are faking me, right?
I scare you back.
Yeah. It's the same Pontianak.
Maybe she was downstairs shaking handcuffs. What are the chances that it's the same one, right? This is not very far away from Changi Airbase West, so it's just down the road. So maybe she's doing her rounds. Wow. Okay, interesting. So anyway, the story already kind of gives you clues as to where it is, right? So for those who are interested to know, there's only one sort of bungalow standing on its own, isolated from any others, that is sort of direct. I would say directly below the old block of the
There's a
hospital.
long flight of steps too.
Yeah, right. The stairs are right next to it, right? It is a pretty creepy location. So if you want to wander past and listen for singing early in the morning, please do, and let us know if you have encountered. Actually, I want to know if anyone else has stayed there, right? It's a yellow chalet, right? So if anyone else has stayed at the yellow chalet, and I think it's the only yellow chalet because all the rest have been painted white already.
I want to interview the pakcik.
Are you sure there was a pakcik?
Ding, ding, ding.
Maybe the one singing was the makcik because his wife is the Pontianak.
He's warning you already.
And I like the way the pakcik happily just tell the story. It's like, you're working for the civil service, you're not supposed to scare people. Maybe scaring them means less work for him because nobody will book and you can relax more.
But I like the way the confessor's mind thinks. Like, I know her name. The pakcik gave me her name. This is going to work.
I've watched enough movies. I know. Okay, this is where Hollywood movies will mislead you, okay? Because you ain't in Hollywood now, baby.
I know your name. Mariam, get out. Then she, you know my name.
Actually, do Pontianaks have names?
Yeah, but they were alive before. What? They could be a Mariam.
No, but there's never been any mention of names in any stories linked to them, right? Whether they have it or not, it doesn't matter lah. They don't go by their names, and using their name means nothing, So it does not apply to them, right? Because there is in the very specific Pontianak law, right? There is the belief that the Pontianak isn't directly the spirit of the person, but it is a hantu created by the person's passing. So it's not actually the person, So Mariam would not necessarily create a Pontianak named Mariam.
But if this was a Glenn Goy movie, you can call her out a few times, then she might regain conscious and go like, sayang.
Over time, I think the Pontianak has taken on a lot of the qualities that we associate with the Western ghost. Right, and maybe even the Chinese ghost, right, which is they retain a lot of their past life, and they're very much a ghost in the traditional capital G sense of the word, right? But the traditional hantu that the Pontianak is not really a ghost in that sense. It's the spirit of something else, right? So it's more monstrous than a ghost, and I think also does not retain as much of the humanity of a ghost, right? But we like to think that way because it makes them more interesting stories, it makes them more romantic as well, and makes them slightly less frightening.
No, but I suppose because you can nail them by the head and they can convert back to a human girl, then there's something humane in her. So there is that hope of humanity.
A bit. Yeah, correct. Maybe it's that little bit that keeps them tethered to the earth, Yeah, right. So maybe she. Oh, so maybe she was Mariam, but she can't remember. Maybe being a Pontianak is like amnesia.
But that's what it is, right? Even for the Western law, you are so feral. There's this red sky.
Mist.
No, that
red lobster.
The European ghost, the European vampire, like the Nosferatu type on Netflix. Red sky, blood red sky.
Oh, okay, yeah, blood red sky.
Right, where the mother was trying to hold back her humanity and not fully let the beast come out.
Yeah.
But the longer the beast surface, the lesser memory she has of who she was.
Are you calling Miss P a beast?
She's probably one of the apex predator. Like, if she lives for 100 of years, she's forgotten her humanity and who she was before. Like, if she just died, maybe like still 3 weeks where she's like a Pontianaklet, like still trying to get a hang of things. You can still Maria, she can sayang. But 100 years later, no, she's apex predator.
Maybe. Please let us know what you think about this amazing adventure at the chalet. Tell us if you think that Z and her friend should have gotten out of there as soon as us. I think exercise, it's not say exercise lah, but unleashed the spirit from X's body, that they should all have just packed up and gone. Right?
Yeah.
I think so. You know, but it's because they stayed that we have a good story. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for risking your lives for this 8-page confession.
This should have been a recorded featured confession quality. Yeah. Make us read 8 pages. How long we had to read this one? But thank you, Z. I mean, Z had to type this out, so don't forget.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, thanks for the great recall as well, because I think, an event that's traumatizing like this, it's hard to remember. So I think, she must have spent some time, sorting things out in her mind and putting it down on paper. So thanks for that,
Okay, one last confession for tonight. This one, John, you like it?
This is my favorite.
Okay. Are you ready, John?
Any context? No?
Context,
No need that.
No need lah,
Keep
no
it
need.
mysterious. Keep it
Okay.
mysterious. Okay.
Ready? Take it away.
Tap. Confession by Jerry. Since you are doing an episode on Changi, let me tell you an experience that happened to me many years ago during COVID time. So there we were, me and the missus, enjoying a quiet evening near Ferry Point in Changi, hoping for a bit of rest from the world. We found this secluded spot tucked away near the tree line along the boardwalk, thinking it would be the perfect place for a bit of peace and quiet. But our plans for an intimate evening were quite But our plans for an intimate evening were quickly derailed when we felt like we were being watched from the forested area. There was an indescribable sense of dread. It's like a sinking feeling. It left both of us uncomfortable, so we decided to walk back to the car and find someplace else. Now, I've heard my share of ghost stories over the years, so I knew something was wrong when my missus and I both smelled a very strong, pungent scent in the air that wasn't there when we walked in just now, and is not the type that we could have missed out on either. The scent was overwhelmingly unmistakable. My missus clutched onto my arm tightly and was leaning into me. She said she was having a headache and needed to rest, but we were still a good 20 or so meters away from being out of the boardwalk, and I had no intention of stopping here in the middle of what was happening. But she was already quickly slumping her full body weight against me. So I sat down where we were and I laid her head on my lap as she sprawled unceremoniously in a dress in the middle of the boardwalk. But thankfully, there were no other living persons around the vicinity. My missus was trembling and her body was cold to the touch. I retrieved the talisman that I had in my wallet and I placed it over her forehead. It was just a shot in the dark, but I hoped it would offer her some protection. From my side that was facing the forested area, I could sense movement, but I didn't turn to look. You know how you get this? Try again. From my side that was facing the forested area, I could sense movement, but I didn't turn to look. You know how you get this feeling when someone is standing too close to you? I felt that. I got a sense it was standing right beside me. I bowed my head low and I kept it close to the talisman that I had placed on my missus's head. I needed some protection too at this stage. In my heart, I kept reciting out my intent. Please just leave us alone. We are sorry we came to your place. Please leave us alone and we'll leave immediately. I felt something tap me twice at my lower left flank. What a weird spot to be tapping someone. I ignored it once. It tapped me again. And then a third time. I plucked up my courage and I ventured a peek to the side from the space between my arm and my body. And I saw what it was that was tapping me. A pair of legs floating about half a foot above the ground, bumping into me. And no, I didn't look further up to see whose legs those belonged to. I shut my eyes. Oops, wrong. Okay. And no, I didn't look further up to see who those legs belonged to. I shut my eyes and I pressed my forehead against my missus. Her body was trembling and so was mine. Behind me, the legs were still bumping into me. I just repeated, I'm sorry, in my heart, and kept my eyes shut until the tapping was gone and the missus stopped trembling. When she came to, she felt exhausted and drained. We got back to the car and headed home immediately to shower and cleanse ourselves. That night, we slept with the lights on and played prayer music loudly over the speakers. But thankfully, nothing followed us back. Oh, I see. I didn't see. Where? Okay. Oh, I didn't see that. I don't know if it was the talisman that scared her off or if they simply. Oh, they is a they. Okay. I don't know if it was the talisman that scared them off or if they simply decided to leave us be. But one thing's for sure, that encounter will stay with me for the rest of my life. And it's for this reason why I. Yeah. But one thing's for sure, that encounter will stay with me for the rest of my life. And it's this reason why I don't think I have the courage to go for your walk with Hantu Changi tour. The Hantu is already living in my head, rent free. Ooh. Can I just say that if everyone who didn't come for our Hantu tour gave a solid excuse like this, I don't mind. Okay. That's the deal, okay? You can skip the Hantu tour if you give us a damn good confession and give us a reason why. You are forgiven.
It's like this is Jerry's excuse letter why he couldn't come for the tour.
Yeah, exactly right. Please include reasons why.
Wow.
Wow. And this is not the first one. Okay, I've received a few stories from people who have explained why, after my repeated bugging, they still don't want to go for my Changi tour. Finally, I get the stories from them, and oh man, are they worth it? So, okay, contribute in your own way.
Yeah. Oh.
But you see why I like this story? The tapping is freaky. It's freaky. I have to say, whatever that spirit was, right?
Yeah.
Because okay, with that pungent smell that he didn't want to name, right? We guess who it might be, right? Most likely, because she's the only one who uses the pungent smell as her sort of calling card, right? But wow, I tell you, she's being original, yeah. You know, she has watched the movies and I'm not doing any of that shit. You know, I'm gonna throwing twigs at bumping the top of a car. No way. You know, I'm gonna announce my presence in a creepy ass way.
This one.
Yeah, it gives me Ju-on vibes. Do you remember the Ju-on swinging scene where she was living in a corner flat and she kept hearing knocking against the wall? Right, but then there was she kept hearing knocking against the wall, but outside her wall was the end of the building. There was nothing outside, right? And then finally, later on in the movie, you find out the knocking is actually her corpse swinging from the ceiling, kicking the wall on this side. And so straight away it gave me that, and the idea of the swinging legs, right? The swinging legs is very creepy, right? And at first when I heard that also, I thought, oh, is it a swinging corpse? Is it a hanged corpse? Right? That would make the swinging make sense, right? On the other hand, it could just be the Pontianak like standing in the mid-air, sort of doing a funny swinging action. I don't know how she would have made herself swing. I wish you had looked a little bit higher so we could have a bit of detail, but okay lah.
You want people to take photo, keep photo, look higher.
Yeah, just just reverse the camera, then just you don't have to see. selfie, take, and then straight away send without looking, right? Then you won't be traumatized, but Eugene will get the thing, you know. So we have to plan some protocol for sightings. Okay, this is important. Just like UFOs, right? All these Hantu sightings must be recorded.
Yeah. Help us, help you.
That's the MSA PSA.
I imagine myself like, okay, all these three stories, I felt they were all incredibly scary in your own way, and I do not want to be in any one of those situation. The car thing is scary because you are captive audience, you're trapped. You cannot call for help. right? Here in this boardwalk one, he's in a way a captive because his wife is on his lap.
Yeah.
He can't run away. And then there's the go away. I'm sorry.
And the fact that she's doing this out of the ordinary way of signaling her presence is mischievous. She's playing with you, it's wicked.
Even the throwing the twig she's playing. This one also. I
Yes,
think
true.
if all these encounters, if you look at it from a wider perspective, it's almost like she is taunting you.
Are you about to say that it's the same person? It's the same entity.
There's one Pontianak flying around.
yeah, just doing a lot of work. Monday here, Tuesday there.
Because if she wanted to kill you, she could have just killed you.
Yeah, she's just patrolling the place, I mean, okay, I like Jerry's sort of presence of mind to immediately say sorry for invading your place.
This one is very well trained. Jerry is very well Asian boy trained.
Yeah, so I think you already did the right thing. You didn't confront her, you didn't act cocky, you didn't do anything. In fact, you didn't do anything to harm her except accidentally wander into her space, right? And you were not even trespassing, right? The boardwalk was there, so blame the government, right? So I think you already did the right thing. I don't think she would have done more to you. But who knows how long she'll have gone on before she finally decided she got bored with you.
But the wife being so affected that way, could she...
I don't think that was mean. I think that it was her sensitivity. I don't think that she was being attacked, right? I mean, it seemed like he was the one being sort of prodded rather than her, But I think what happened to her was, I think, just her reaction to the presence. Because straight away she felt the fever, right? No, a headache. Felt the headache.
Then she was cold. It's a bit like the radio was cocked up. The car cannot start. It's almost like something there was a burst of energy.
Correct. Yeah. So it was not like what happened to X, for example, who was being possessed, right? This one was different. This, I think, was just a side effect. Yeah. So I think they would have been okay in the end. Whether the talisman helped or not, or whether it was just their own behavior was pretty faultless. So well done.
What I love about it, because he put the talisman on her head and said she needed protection, and then later he got scared. Then he went down to I needed protection too.
But it is so because he did that that he didn't see her.
Yeah.
Right. If his head was up, he might have witnessed something more horrifying, right? So so just as well, okay. So I guess the moral of this one is bring 2 talisman, okay, next time. Talisman. Bring a talisman like maybe that's poncho size, unfold it, just put it over yourselves until morning.
Now we need merchandise. Poncho size talisman.
It's like a talisman tent. a tentalisman. Okay, a tentalisman. All right, we'll prepare that for you, okay?
Then your 10 packs, right? It's all your 6-inch iron metal.
Yes.
Very safe inside your fortress.
Yeah. Okay, but I must say that hearing these 3 stories makes Changi seem a lot more dangerous a place to do a tour now. I hope none of my friends are listening to this who are wondering whether they want to come for the tour. They'll be like,
nope.
Nope, maybe not.
Come for the tour like 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. tour. Very safe.
All you'll hear is the singing in the back. I mean, it's just makcik singing. Okay, that's all.
40s, 50s era. So if you like oldies, go 90 FM, you would like this trip.
Songs by Mariam. You're terrible. Okay. Tell us if you have more Changi stories. Yeah, I think we're definitely keen to have part 2, part 3 because, as Eugene said at the beginning of the episode, Changi is really our most haunted place, the most focused spot for the supernatural in Singapore. And today it had just happened to be all about Miss P, or at least all that happened to slip into the Miss P category, right? So maybe if you have stories about other types of hauntings at Changi, please share so we can do a focus on other residents of Changi.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think in the 80s, 90s, there was a lot of reports of another kind of hantu. It seems that if the
Different
2024
colour.
update is Miss P seems to be taking the front runner.
But again, there's an entire possibility that none of the entities tonight were Miss P.
Aliens. We went with aliens in the first.
Okay lah. I think tap maybe not alien lah. Who knows? They
You
could
never know.
levitate,
He
right?
never see.
Yeah, true, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows whether they were aliens or some other entity? We don't know. We never know for sure. But again, it's nice to know that we have a default hantu in our imagination, right? You notice how in the confessions, right, the word Pontianak comes up before anything else. You know, it's like that they can't find any other word for it except Pontianak. You know, whether it's in a tree, whether there's a smell, whether it's whatever it's doing, it must be Pontianak. You know, she's the prime suspect.
She's like Pontianak is almost like a catch-all now. It seems, right?
Yeah.
Anything that interacts with you, I think that is extremely scary. Pontianak.
Well, I hope she's enjoying the infamy. Okay, if she's listening tonight, okay, this is a tribute to you and all your many guises. Okay, all the many shapes and all the many tricks you have up your sleeve. This is about you.
What's that guy name? There's one Malay pakcik who told me that in Siglap there were 13 Pontianak. Not one. He goes there to meditate. What Kubo Kasim.
Kubo Kasim. Okay, Siglap.
13 inside there.
Wow. Are they like this territorial gang? Is it?
It was almost like they were there to defend the tomb of somebody. Like they were guardians even.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Miss P as guardian. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, she would be a good choice. So we are learning more and more about Miss P as we go along. In a way, we're compiling all her misadventures, so it's quite nice.
Profile it. I feel like we need to have this big board, with a red thread that we can combine here. In Changi, this is what she did. And we draw patterns.
CSI Hantu. Okay, so please give us more stories so we can extract more evidence about what she does and what she gets up to. Okay. Wow, not bad. So one more time, a call out to join us in Changi. Okay. You can tell your Scaredy Cat friends to come for the Twilight one, but everyone else, and it seems everyone else is quite keen, come for Walk with Hantu Changi because you will hear a lot of stories like this, right? And maybe some of these stories might creep in too.
Well, my number is 94594931 for bookings and queries, or if you have a confession to share with me and you just want to get something off your chest, that's the number to call. 94594931. My name is Eugene Tay.
I'm Jonathan Lee.
Saying good night, goodbye, and we'll see you guys next week.
What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.